So in this video, we're going to go through my exact three-step process for recovering open rates and getting out of spam. Look, if you're running an e-commerce brand or you're an email marketer, it's incredibly frustrating if you're getting low open rates. And at the end of the day, if your emails aren't being opened, they're not being looked at. It doesn't matter if you have the best copy in the world, the best design, the best offer. It does not matter. If they're not being opened, you cannot generate any bit of revenue. Now, there may be a couple of reasons as to why you're seeing some, low open rates, which we'll cover throughout this video. But we are going to cover the exact remedy that you should go through, the exact protocol to recover your open rates from 10%, 20% to 40% plus consistently. So first of all, we're just going to talk a bit about technical practices. So we just want to cover some housekeeping. And before looking at our three-step process, it's essential to have a look and see, do you have the core fundamentals set up? So first of all, that would include a dedicated sending domain. You'd want to have DMARC records set up for the domain as well. And you want to make sure, very importantly, since the new sending requirements came back in February for Google and Yahoo, you want to make sure that your sender name matches the domain name. So if we just kind of zoom in here, and if you're in a Klaviyo account, you can go to settings, go to email, domains, and make sure that you have your branded sending domain or dedicated sending domain set up. Secondly, for DMARC records, you want to do this on your domain host. So whether this is GoDaddy, Namecheap, Shopify domains, WordPress, wherever that may be, you need to set up the DMARC records manually. You need to do this yourself. And generally, a DMARC record will look something like this. It will be a TXT record with underscore DMARC. And this following record here. In the red section, you'd want to put in either your own email if it's your own brand or your client's email. So they'll be getting DMARC like updates to their email constantly. So DMARC reports. Finally, then you'll want to make sure that your sender name is matching the domain name. So a lot of the times, some brands or some agencies will like to use a different sender name on the emails because sometimes it might improve open rates. That was all well and good before the new sender requirements came in February, and now they've gotten much stricter on having your sender name actually match the domain. So make sure that the name here matches the domain here. And you should definitely see improvements in your open rates if you aren't doing that. And it's very important that you do that. I have audited a few accounts where I've seen them use a completely different sender name and open rates are tanking. We switched it back and then open rates improved. Now we can kind of go on to some behavioral practices. So this is to do with like what you're actually doing inside the emails themselves and how your behavior around sending is going on. So a few things you just want to be aware of is sending to the entire list frequently. You should never really do that. If you're sending to the entire list frequently, you're going to have a batch of unengaged customers in that list. And hence they're going to increase your chances of landing in spam, and hence your open rates will be a lot lower. Using images with heavy file size, so over 300 kilobytes, the heavier the image file size, the slower the email takes to load, the higher the chance that you actually have of your email bouncing. Thirdly, then you have excessive use of capitalization and emojis. Don't be using too much capitalization in your subject lines. It looks spammy, and obviously it can trigger spam filters as well. Excessive use of links. I see a lot of brands using product blocks, and there could be 8, maybe 10 different product blocks or products themselves in the emails. You don't need to do that. It's adding more links. Every time you add a link, you're increasing your chance of triggering spam filters. So stay away from that, and keep your email simple as well. Next, then you have obviously sending too many emails, so burning the list. I actually have another video about how you could potentially email your list every single day without triggering spam, but you have to be very careful about how you do that, and you have to be very careful about how you go about your segmentation. However, a lot of brands might oversend to the list by blasting their entire list, maybe 3, 4, 5 times a week, and they're not segmenting. That means you're just burning through the list. You're annoying customers. They're going to be hitting spam, hitting unsubscribe, which will obviously diminish your sender reputation. And then finally, we have not excluding the correct segments from your list or from your campaigns even. So when you're sending campaigns, you'll always want to make sure that you're excluding people who have bounced, you're excluding people who have been suppressed, marked as spam, unsubscribed, and unengaged contacts. You would assume that Klaviyo would obviously automatically suppress anyone who's marked as spam or unsubscribed, but Klaviyo doesn't get it right all the time. So you want to make sure that you're segmenting those customers who may have bounced over 3 times, who may have marked as spam, who may have unsubscribed, but can still receive email marketing. So it's very important that you're removing those people from your email campaigns. What's also not included here is excluding customers who have recently purchased from the brand. And that is going to depend on the sales cycle of the exact business that you're working with. So for example, if you're selling a supplement, You want to make sure, probably if it takes 30 days to actually, get the supplement, start using it, you want to make sure that you're probably, excluding customers within a 30-day time period, just so you're not annoying them, leaving them go down the post-purchase flow, because they've already purchased. You don't want to annoy that customer anymore. And then onto cleaning your list. So very importantly, maintaining a clean, up-to-date email list is absolutely crucial for maintaining your open rates. You don't want to be carrying dead subscribers in your ESP. You also want to make sure that you're, saving money with your billing as well. So it's important to regularly prune inactive subscribers and segment your list, obviously. So first of all, just remove inactive subscribers who haven't opened an email in 6 months plus. That again is going to depend on how frequently you're sending emails to the list. If you're sending, 4 or 5 emails a week, you can maybe perhaps shorten that time frame, or else you could nearly remove customers who haven't opened the last 10 emails or haven't opened at all. Then secondly, you want to obviously remove contacts who've unsubscribed but are not suppressed / can receive email marketing, as we just previously mentioned. And finally, removing contacts who have bounced at least 3 times and are not suppressed, and again, / can receive email marketing, because I know Klaviyo has changed the wording on the segmentation there. Now for the best part, right? So we'll go on to the 3-step process for recovering open rates and getting out of spam. It's a very, very simple process, right? So step 1 is create a segment of hyper engaged contacts. These subscribers could be customers who have opened or clicked an email within the last 7 to 14 days. This will just depend, again, how often you're emailing your list, and send to this segment for 2 weeks only 2 weeks. Sometimes you might need to do it for 3 weeks, but we'll talk about that there in a second. So step 2 is, when you're sending throughout the initial 2-week period, send emails that are primarily plain text, because plain text emails, they come across as more personal. You can provoke responses. If you provoke responses and you get them, that's going to improve your sender reputation, and it's also much better for deliverability. So again, try to provoke your subscribers to actually reply to your emails. If your subscribers are replying to your emails, that's literally telling, like, any, Gmail, Yahoo, Apple Mail, that your emails are worth engaging with. People are actually interacting with them, so they obviously think that you're a real sender and not a spammer. Then step 3 is, obviously your open rates should recover during this period. So once you've gone through that 2-week phase, you can obviously then start increasing your engaged segment. So rather than sending to an engaged 7-day segment of those who have opened and clicked, maybe you can go to 30 days, maybe you can go to 60 days, 90 days, whatever that may be. Just depends on how frequently you're emailing your list. And what you want to be aiming for is 40% opens or more, at least, and be hitting them consistently before you start, obviously, increasing your engaged segment. And a bonus tip, we actually did this for a client recently. Very interestingly, again, if you're struggling to come up with a way to get customers to actually reply to your emails, what you can do is obviously run a competition. So what we did in this case is we sent a plain text email to obviously an engaged 7-day segment. In this email, we let customers know that if they reply to the email, they'll be entered into a competition. And in this particular case, we asked for some constructive feedback. So we just said, hey there, we're running a quick competition. If you reply to this email giving us some constructive feedback about the brand, whether that's the website, the products, we'll enter you into a competition where you can win a free product. And it's kind of, the benefits are twofold, because you're obviously going to improve your deliverability because people are replying to the emails. And number 2 is, well, you're collecting some nice qualitative feedback there as well. So in a nutshell, that is the 3-step process on how to improve your open rates, get out of spam. If you liked this video, please subscribe, leave a comment below in the comment section, and I'll catch you on the next video.